Welcome back, IP6. I hope you're doing great, you're staying safe, and you're staying home. Today, we are continuing talking about presentation skills and presenting. And this is our lesson number 17 together. So for presentation skills, structuring your presentation is important. It produces a well-organized presentation, creates an impression that you know what you are talking about. You will gain the audience's trust, and they will be more likely to listen to you. Provides a flow in presentation, provides the information that the audience needs to follow your presentation. Structuring your presentation will help you become more comfortable following this flow. Presenting and the following structure formalizes this process. So you have to make sure you have a nice structure of your presentation. You have a story to tell. Identify the characteristics, knowledge, and needs of your audience so that you are delivering the right presentation to the right audience. So this is very important. You have to know who you are presenting for. Know who your audience is, what they want, and what they need to know. And what is their background? This is done before the presentation or throughout the presentation. So, for example, imagine you are presenting for 5-year-old kids compared to presenting for your teachers, which they are maybe 25 to 40 or maybe more. So would you do the same presentation for both of them? Of course not, because they have different backgrounds, different understanding. So maybe when you present for a 5-year-old kid, you will be very colorful, you will have a very colorful presentation. You will have less words, more pictures. But when you're presenting for your teachers, maybe there are harder words, bigger words, less colorful. So it's very important to know the background and who of the people who you're presenting for and who it is. For your structure, you should have a purpose to guide you. So what are the main points I want my audience to take away from my presentation? You have to ask this from yourself. What do you want them to know? Do you want them to know about cats, dogs, or like whatever your presentation is about? You have to ask yourself, what do you want them to remember? Audience pre-assessment is what we talked about to identify the characteristics of your audience, of the people you present for. Opening your presentation and bridge is like grabbing the audience's attention and give them reason to be interested. Body of presentation, major portion of the presentation. Closing your presentation is the final impression. There are some rules. 6 lines per slide, 6 words per line, and too much text can look tiring. So you try to keep less text. So don't go over 6 lines per slide and 6 words per line. So this is 6-6 rule, which limits you when you write in your presentation. Audiences are there to listen and watch you. not read your slides. So your audience will not read your slide. They will listen to you and watch you and listen what you're talking about. Which is a good slide? The one on the left or the one on the right? Can you guess? Make a guess. What do you think? Which is better? Of course, the one on the right is better because there's less text, easier to read, and you can explain one by one. Online presentation tools. Google Presentation or Google Slides. Upload and edit your presentation with the Google Presentation program or create one from scratch. It is very good for group work. So if you ever have any presentation as a group, you can use Google Slides and you can work at the same time and you don't even have to be together. Someone can be their hometown and you can be at your house, but you still can work online as long as you have internet. Can work online at the same time with your group. This is the best part. So this is Google Slides. Visual aids represent your ideas, and it's a great way to engage with your audience. Use empty spaces. White spaces allows a focus and appreciation of central element. So you see the white space makes you focus on the dark space, which says you are not looking at the empty space because you are looking at the black area. So which was the first area you saw on the slide on the right? It's the black area, not the white. Contrast. Use design elements that are clearly different to draw viewers' attention. For example, near and far, empty and filled, dark and light. For example, on the picture on the right side, you can see the contrast. We have black and white, and also the writing is black and white, so it's different. So it brings more attention. So you can use these visual aids to help you. Next is repetition. Repeat a common design element in order to make the visual more unified. For example, repeat slide backgrounds, consistent use of font. You can see on the right picture, I use the same slide background, or even this slide that we're working on, you can see every slide has the same background. So it gives a unity. It seems unified. It seems it's the same story talking about the same topic. Proximity. Group related items together to provide the viewer with visual organization. You can see they use, again, they use the contrast of the color, and on the left is people and on the right is machines. So it gives a proximity, and then the difference, you can feel it and you will be more interested in looking at this slide. Next, we have alignment. To connect elements on a slide visually, use grid lines to ensure good alignment. Bibliography is another one, which is very important. You have to give all your sources always, otherwise someone can sue you, but I mean, you guys are still young, so maybe not, but I think it's best for you to learn how to give references and bibliography from now. So you can add the link of the reference at the end of the slide, on the last slide, or add in every slide. So when you have a picture, for example, you should write down the source. Where did you download it from? Was it Pinterest? Was it Google? Was it a website? Was it a book? Where did you get it from? Also the same for the information. You should give information. Who's the writer? What year was it? You can see here. This is the name, the last name, and the first name for the writer. So this had two authors or two writers. So this is the last name and this is the first name. So with a shortcut, this is the last name, this is the short name, the first name. This is the year that they write down, and this is the name of the presentation or journal, and this is the journal they publish. Where was it published at, and what is the number of it, like which page or which volume, or which version is it from. So you give all the information that you can have and give to the references. Also the same for pictures. You have to write down the website or the writer name or the photographer. This helps your research. So what does bibliography do? Bibliography do, or reference? It just makes your life harder? No, this helps your research or your PowerPoint to be more academic and more trustworthy and more reliable, which is very important. No one wants to have unreliable information in their PowerPoint. You can add reference or source for the picture you use also, as I mentioned. Avoid filter words like in order to make your presentation flow as smoothly and confidently as possible. Avoid using words such as so, and so on. Make sure you don't make the presentation too advanced or too simple. It has to match with your audience, as we talked about before. You can watch this video and see and learn what they say and talk about. For today, there's no homework, but please try to finish all the other homeworks if you have not done it yet. If you have finished, that's all right. You're free to do anything you want. You can practice by yourself or you can enjoy your free time. But if you have some left, please do finish your homework. And maybe we can take a look at this video before we finish the class. So I'm guessing you have to sign in, just try to sign in and watch it. It's 6 minutes, we can watch for a bit. So I think it's pretty useful. You just sign in and just take a look at the video.
There are two sides to every presentation. You are speaking, but an audience is listening. If you want to give a great presentation, you need to know about people. The more you understand how people think and learn, hear, see, react, decide, the better able you will be to put together a presentation that informs, inspires, and motivates. So here are 5 things that great presenters know about people. Number 1, people learn best in 20-minute chunks. When I'm coaching and mentoring people on presentations, I tell them to go watch TED Talks. If you aren't familiar with TED Talks, you should check it out at TED.com. These are short talks by accomplished people in their fields. And interestingly, most TED Talks are 20 minutes long. I think that's one reason they're so effective. These same
All right, so I want you to continue watching that. It's a very interesting video, and I think it can help you to understand better how to present. So take a look and finish the video and watch it. And for today, no homework, as I told you, just finish your old homework if you have any left. And that's all for today, and see you next week. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.